Since the introduction of Tiffin University football in 1985, 6 head coaches and 129 assistant coaches have led 1,343 young men through the Tiffin University football program that has produced 25 NAIA All-Americans and 4 Division II All-Americans.
The day we announced football, I also announced, and we had the press conference, and I also announced that we were going to have an MBA program. Now, this was a very small school. Having an MBA program was a very important step, a big step. And I said, oh, by the way, we're going to have a football team. All the press questions were about football. We live in the, TU exists in the state of Ohio. It's football territory. A lot of people think that it's not a real college if it's not playing football. So this kind of fulfilled the path that helped lead us down the path to become the kind of college that we wanted it to become and the kind of college that it is. Well, there were a few reasons. I viewed football as a tool for the admissions department. And we were at an enrollment of 560 students. We started football, and that fall we were at 710 students. Football's a wonderful sport to build enrollment with. The issues with football are, where are you going to play? How much does it cost to equip a team or equip each player? Can you find a coach that will be a good recruiter as well as an on-field football coach? And we were able to solve all of those things. It cost, at that time, about $1,000 a player to equip them. We found some parks and other places that we could practice, and then we played on various fields, one of which was Mohawk. Then we moved to the football stadium here in town later on. We found a coach. There was a very successful high school coach here in town, Buzz Kirkhart, who had coached Calvert to a state championship. And I talked with Buzz and asked if he'd like to try out with a college team, try to play a coach at that level. And he was willing to, and Buzz came and joined us, then went out to recruit players.
It was an opportunity to watch DiLiberto. You know, I got a chance to play with him for 4 years, and he's just a tremendous athlete, tremendous running back, and just having a chance to block for him was really exciting for him.
Been blessed to play with great players. Brian DiLiberto was just extraordinary.
My name is Shane O'Donnell, Sports Information Director at Tiffin University, and I've been here 24 years. Well, I mean, anybody who watched Brian DiLiberto run certainly knows that he is a phenomenal running back. You might take one look at him initially and think, well, he doesn't look like a typical power type of running back, but he was as tough as nails. He took a lot of shots, and it seemed like it took a lot of shots just to ever bring him down, even on a routine run. And he put up numbers that are just amazing.
I was recruited by Coach Wolf. He was really good friends with my high school coach. It was pretty comfortable for me. Everyone was really accommodating and friendly, and I made lifelong friends that I have to this day. But one of my teammates was like Mike Schumacher. I played with, the greatest linemen: Chris Deal, Mark Bartholomew, Craig Durr, Brian Campbell, and Nate Cole, Billy Fry, and John Moore. 3 years with Tony Frunk. Then my senior year, Brian Friends and Brian Weiser were alternates, and they would switch every other quarter. Richard Allen, like I said, Mike Schumacher, those were 2 guys that were running backs. And, I was pretty installed into that position, so they actually went to the defensive side of the ball and became All-Americans.
I played with some awesome guys. I played from 2004 through 2009 season, so I really don't want to leave anybody out. But just some of the few that come to mind. I played, like I said, I played linebacker. So I think about some of the linebackers I played with. I played with the Davis twins. I played with Steven Yarbrough. Played with Brent Simonson, Drew Douthit. So I played with some awesome guys, and I'll be remiss if I didn't mention some players I played with during my time at Tiffin University that are now deceased. I got a chance to come in my freshman year, and Aaron Syack, he welcomed me with open arms. He was like a fireball, if I can describe Aaron Syack, and he was a great guy to learn from. Also, BJ Pasarich, he played tight end. He's now deceased, but he was a heck of an athlete. He can block, catch the ball. And then you also had Stephen Coleman. He played both sides of the ball. He played running back and linebacker. And he was a heck of an athlete. And then you had Mike Alexander. I played with him, linebacker. He taught me a lot. And he's no longer here. So I'll be remiss, like I said, if I didn't mention those four gentlemen that played during my era.
But with the offensive line, you had Bill Fry was what a big part. Durr, you had a lot of great players up front that along with they called Stitch. He was the other guard. So through those years, it was really easy for us offensive linemen because of the fact that we knew that wherever we were, Brian was going to make a cut off of our block, or he'd run right through you, either or. So either get out of the way or try to have him have an opportunity to cut off a block. So. Well, yeah, through the years, still in contact with a lot of those individuals that I played with. It makes it nice because we have something in common. Being the first team to make it to the playoffs, NAIA playoffs that year, and just getting a chance to watch us develop as a team and watch these, the tremendous athletes out there playing the game, and the togetherness that we had is something that you don't. You carry on for the rest of your life. I know it's been a number of years since we've been a part of that, but they're still in contact with a lot of the individuals.
Of course, I always got to talk about the offensive linemen, the big hogs, the guys up front. Chris Deal, Chris Deal, him and I had a real good relationship during college days. And we're grown men now, raising families and things of that nature. Chris was always, came from humble beginnings, had a big heart, always wanted to protect you on the football field, but also was a good friend outside of outside the lines, basically. Craig Durr, the center, you might not want me to say this, but one of the greatest backsides there has been in football. Craig Durr, always very strong-minded, but always had just a vibrant smile and a vibrant ability about himself. Of course, the receivers, Kurt Miller, David Niss, Dan Bowen, guys that literally understood the game, understood what it meant down and distance on a daily basis. Aaron Acton just popped up in my mind. Was a quarterback there my freshman year. Aaron Acton, as I called him, Batman, looks just like Michael Keaton. But Aaron Acton, from California, knew how to play the game, down and distance, 1st and 10, knew which way the wind was blowing, understood coverages, just taught me just how to respect and understand the game a lot more. There's a lot of other guys, Richard Allen, who played on the defensive end, Damon Eccles, who played on defense, Sean Johnson, who played our inside linebacker. A lot of different guys that I think that changed my course at Tiffin University for something good. But they made it. Guys wanted to get their degree, and then 2, win on the football field. And that was something I was used to, and we tried to continue that tradition there at Tiffin University.
One guy in particular that I'm so just so proud of is Jeremy Moranis. And he, locker rooms take on their own feel, and like they take on a family structure in a lot of ways. And Jeremy was like our kid brother, and all our numbers, they put us up there in numerical order. And I played in 7. He wore 6, I think, or 4, and he's sitting right there with us. And so he would kind of get teased, or we kind of mess around or whatever it was, but then he'd get a little bit bigger and stronger the next year. Then he's out there helping contribute. Then we're starting to count on him. And then now he's a big part of Tiffin University. Tiffin University, more so than the football program, but now he's in home impacting lives and making sure guys have a chance to continue on. Kyle Boffman. Kyle's another one. All the receivers, I just feel like I remember all the receivers. Those guys are tremendous. Renaco Pitts, there are just so many guys. Frank Johnson, another Stark County guy. You miss them, because everybody has a unique path arriving to Tiffin. Some guys you heard of and played against in high school, and some guys you've never heard of their hometown, and they may not have heard of your hometown. But yet here we are, and we all got our paddles in the exact same boat, trying to go the same direction. So, but it'll always be the guys, Alex Esparjo and a lot of those guys. It'll always be the players you miss the most.
George is a great ambassador. He remembers his roots. He's proud that he was a Dragon, and it's really cool. I mean, we stay in contact, and he's doing remarkable things. He's on College Game Day. This guy that was playing here at Little Tiffin University is well respected in his craft, and is doing great things.
Nate Washington again is a guy who he made his mark here in the same way as a receiver. He just did some amazing things.
And you got to think you got to give Padgett some help on Washington, who's the wide out to the near side of the field. Now Allen comes up showing blitz, won't do so though, and here's Harple looking for Washington. He's wide open, and he's got it. He's going to go all the way for the touchdown.
Nate Washington's career began with the Dragons in 2001. During his time between 2001 and 2004, Nate Washington's career records are all over the Tiffin University record book, including in 2002, 53 receptions, 1,120 yards, and 11 touchdowns to lead the Dragons. Also led him in 2003 with 70 receptions, 1,286 yards, and 15 touchdowns. And in 2004, 69 receptions, 1,428 yards, and 16 touchdowns. Nate also holds the 6th best receiving yardage games in Tiffin University history, including 299 yards versus Gannon in 04, 243 yards versus Finley in 03, also in 03, 220 yards versus Butler. In 2002, Nate went for 214 yards versus Gannon, also in 2002, 207 yards versus Dayton, and in 04, 197 yards versus Nebraska Omaha. Nate's single-season records while with the Dragons include number 2 all-times with 70 catches in 2003, number 1 with 1,428 yards in 2004, and number 1 with touchdowns in a season with 16 in 2004. His career marks on the Dragon record books include number 2 all-time with 212 catches, number 1 all-time with 4,214 yards, number 1 with 47 touchdowns, number 1 with 290 points, and number 3 with all-purpose yards at 4,322. Nate was a 2003 first-team All-American and 2004 a second-team All-American. Also in 2004 an All-Region player with the second team, and he was an All-Independent Football Alliance selection 2002 through 2004, a first-team All-Independent Football Alliance selection. In Nate's NFL career, he is a 2-time Super Bowl champion in 2005 and 2008 with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He has played in 8 career playoff games through his 11-season career, only behind Wes Welker and Antonio Gates with career yards by an undrafted player. In his NFL career, he has played in 159 career games, grabbing 458 receptions for 6,954 yards, 44 touchdowns in his 107 career starts.
I think nowadays, from a quarterback standpoint, certainly Antonio Pipkin is again putting up numbers and doing some things on the field that we've never seen a quarterback do here.
Dragons by 2 scores and looking for more at the Walsh 28.
Pipkin's got it. There he goes.
20,
there he goes. He's
15,
gone.
10. Walk it in, Antonio. Touchdown, Dragons.
Jordan Noble's going in motion. He's got him open. He's got Nobles in the corner. Make it. Touchdown.
Matt Root, quarterback, and Paris Burt, and Steve Yarbrough, guys like that, Dyshawn Edwards, Gary and Corbin. There were a number of people from those years when they really dominated at the independent level. They put up some tremendous numbers.
In 1985, Tiffin University president George Kidd reached out to local high school football coaching legend and 2-time state champion Roger Buzz Kirkhart with the opportunity to be the first head football coach in Tiffin University Dragon history. Coach Buzz Kirkhart coached the Dragons from 1986 through 1989, compiling a 7-33 record. In 1990, Tiffin University hired their second head football coach, Bob Wolf. Coach Wolf led the Tiffin University football program over the next 8 years, compiling the second highest win total with 35.
Tiffin University's football program was only a few years old. Coach Wolf was in his first year when I came in 1990. Coach Wolf was a very intense, coach. We played for him. He was a tremendous coach through his years here. Had an opportunity to play for him and also coach with him.
It was interesting. Coach Bob Wolf had recruited me for probably about a good year and a half, but Coach Wolf literally stayed after me and offered me the scholarship, and I came to Tiffin, and it was one of the greatest experiences that I've had. From Ron Schumacher to Coach Wolf, Coach Moby, they instilled some things in us that good work ethic, be consistent, be on time. I like to look at it as read. The word read, I always tell everyone, I kind of learned that from my office coordinator. Reading means basically the R, for the letter R is pretty much respect, to rule. E means to excel, A means to advance, and D means to dominate.
Coach Wolf was a father figure to me. He was a disciplinarian, but he was also a great man and someone that wouldn't put up with a lot of stuff, but he was also, very much a father figure to us. He demanded that you went to class. You had to get the grades. If you didn't have the grades, you didn't play.
In 1998, the newest member of the Tiffin University coaching fraternity was hired. Cam Cruikshank led the Dragons for the next 5 years.
The coaching staff, interesting because we went through an awful lot of changes as well. So my first head coach was Coach Wolf. Then we went to Coach Cruikshank, and then we had Coach Cole. And a lot of the coordinators I had become very close with. Ryan Hockman, he was special. Dean Wallensack, even though he was on defense, he was just loved his tone and demeanor. You get up around him and you can just feel some of that energy, and you're in a tight ball game and you're like, well, I know he's not going to flinch. Scott Weaver, Coach Weaver was, I think I was his first quarterback. I think I was his first coaching job. He was only maybe 3 years older than I was at the time, which is great in a lot of ways for me, because he's going to be able to relate. He can understand this. You may come off the field feeling a certain way, and he, without words, just nods his head and goes, nope, I got you. And I remember he threw a beautiful ball, too. He's throwing balls in practice and pregame almost like he was going to go out and play. So the coaching staff was unique because we got a lot of coaches. Trent Boykin was another. We were really lucky to get him when he came in. A lot of guys who were on their way up in their career. and they're young, and they're enthusiastic, and they're energetic, and I think Tiffin's a great place for that.
In 2003, Tiffin University began a winning stretch that compiled a .655 winning percentage under newly hired head coach Nate Cole.
The independent years were really successful. So Coach Nate Cole and his team, those were years where you went and you watched the team, and it was really fun to watch because every week you knew they were going to, really play well, and they played in an kind of like an affiliated. All the independent schools played together, kind of in an association. And it wasn't really a conference, but it was just an arrangement for all the independents. And most of them were around each other that they could play each other every year. So it was kind of like an independent conference. TU was always up there, and there was kind of a dominating period for them at that point.
Next on the Tiffin University coaching list, hired in 2008, Dave Wachowski headed the Tiffin University program for the next 3 years. Today, Tiffin University's football program is under the direction of head football coach Gary Goff. Coach Goff's first year was in 2011, and he continues to lead the Tiffin University Dragons as they compete in the Great Lakes Intercollegiate Athletic Conference in NCAA Division II.
I would have given anything to play for Coach Goff. I've spent some time in the last 2 years on Tiffin's campus and out in San Diego. I would have given anything to play for Coach Goff. Just what he embodies and how he presents himself, how he sees the team structure, and who couldn't love that offense.
We knocked it out of the park when we got him. And along with that, his recruiting classes have been really, really good. They've been able to keep the big recruits that they've brought in, and they're ready now, like I said, in my opinion, to turn a corner and become an elite team in the GLIAC.
When we hired Coach Goff and his staff, things began to move in the right direction. And obviously last year was our best year in several years, and many of those players are coming back, so we expect improvement there.
First one is I think when Tiffin University first made the playoffs, that was something that had never happened in the history of football. I was glad to be a part of that process. The jubilation that it brought not only to the university and to the campus, but it brought to the city, and it brought to the surrounding area.
My final year, we played against Northern Michigan. It was a game where it was our opening game in the GLIAC.
29-yard try. The ball is juggled by the holder, and he is going to be caught, and he is going to be swung down at the 40-yard line. How about that?
First time playing in the GLIAC Division II and playing against some of those tougher teams, and we had Northern Michigan here at Frost Kaldenoff Stadium, and I ended up having, it was a tough game, the whole game. It was a battle. I ended up finishing the game with about 17 or 18 tackles, forced fumble, and an interception, and we ended up winning the game in overtime.
With a tight formation, he's got it. He dove over the top. The Dragons win. 34-28.
I remember my very first start, we boarded a bus and went all the way out to Iowa Wesleyan. And that must have been like a 12-hour ride. I remember taking the field for the first time wearing the green and gold and thinking, all right, man, you pushed for this, you've wanted to play, we're here. You took this left turn, this right turn, this left turn, we're right here, let's go play. And it turned out well, we had a good game, we won, and there's nothing like, a bus ride or any type of transportation home with a win.
Beating Findlay. Being on that team that beat Findlay that year to put us into the playoffs against Findlay. I think that was one thing that us guys looked at it all the years, and the previous years in front of it. It kind of set what we were working for. Well, I tell you that no one really got a good hit on DiLiberto through his career. I remember one time in Findlay is the only time he got hit one time.
Dasher option pitches out to DiLiberto left side, and he is popped.
From the time I got hit, I was knocked out cold. And then I went back into the game. Off tackle left, I guess I spun around and broke a couple tackles and made it into the end zone, and that's what iced the game.
Well, of course, the Findlay game, we beat Findlay in 1993, the first time, the only time we beat Findlay. And while that could be, viewed maybe as, well, you've only beat them one time, it was a big win at the time because it finally got us on the national stage. And they were, I believe, the defending national champs that season. And so we beat them, and it was at their place. And so it really was a huge win for our program, and it really catapulted us for the next couple of years.
I was at the game when we beat Findlay, and Diliberto and Ray Allen, Woody Allen, and those guys just making huge impact plays.
Sends this one down the middle, fielded by Allen at the 10-yard line. He's across the 20, 25. Bounces off a tackle there, across the 30, breaks one at the 45, 40, midfield, there he goes, down the sideline, 20. The 15-10, touchdown.
No flags that I can see.
90 yards return.
A fantastic run back by Richard Allen.
Eureka game, the playoff game that we hosted here in '94 and won to get to the final 8. That was, again, it was the first time we'd ever won in the playoffs, and it meant a lot to the program, to take that step.
Honor, commitment, respect, and love. You're going to win games, but you're going to gain other things besides just the victory. Definitely want you to wear the ring, want you to wear the crown, but your friends and your family and what you're going to be able to do with your degree as well as the friendships that you gain from Tiffin University, it's priceless. You bleed green and gold all day long, every day. No matter what you're doing, no matter what field you're in, no matter where you're at, if someone says Tiffin University, your chest, you stand up. If you stand up. You bleed green and gold.
Means to be proud of where you come from. Be proud of what you've achieved. Nowadays, it's about getting an education. It's about being a part of a team, and I would not change anything, through the process of being here, playing here, and have an opportunity to have the connections with these men now.
TU football Dragon today is part of the long stream that began in the mid-'80s.
It's an indescribable feeling to know that you're a Dragon, to know that this university has been through so much and is doing so much for the current students in a way that it's evolved. Being a Dragon is everything. I mean, whether I'm here, whether when I was here, whether when I'm gone, I will always be a Dragon. And I think everyone that comes across my path know that I'm a Dragon.
The focus here at Tiffin University is going to be on providing a good, positive experience for our student athletes, and one that we hope that we'll look back on in later years in a very positive way.
You take what you have, you make the most of it, and you can make your mark that way.
Pride. I have a dragon right here, all the way up.
It's a great question. You have to earn everything that you get here. Making it here is what being a Dragon's all about.
Means everything. You get to Tiffin and it's yours, right? It's yours, and so the pride takes over. This is where I am. This is the place that gave me the opportunity. These are the people who are investing in me, so I'm going to invest right back into them. This is my courtyard, my gymnasium where I'm going to come in and watch my buddies run up and down the court. This is our practice field. It's mine. This is my place. This is the place I'm going to bring, my daughter, who's not quite here yet. I'm going to bring her back. This is Dad's place. It's yours. And it's special. I don't really think I'm even doing it justice. But to be a Dragon and now to be 3,000 miles away from them, but they're always right there in my newspaper or online, or I can call Coach. the pride takes over, and you just want other Dragons to be able to see that they can, not just to, get, in a spot, where I was able to get to, but soar clear past this, and a lot have. And I'm proud to see that TU magazine arrive at my doorstep and get a chance to go through and kind of catch up with all that. But pride takes over, because that's my school. That's my school.
I get a little choked up there.
Tis the place where I have grown, where my heart resides. Green and gold, I long for you. You're my Tiffin pride. You're my Tiffin University. You're my Tiffin.